We are joined now by FEMA Administrator Brock Long. Brock, thanks for joining us again this morning, just hours away from landfall. What's your biggest fear right now?
Right now, my biggest fear is I just hope that people heeded the warning to evacuate because the window to do so is coming to a close very rapidly as the storm is encroaching on the coast. I mean, we're already seeing rain bands, and forecasters are predicting over 13 feet of storm surge near where the eye makes landfall, and just to the east. That's the worst place to be. So we just hope that people have gotten out of those storm surge zones.
It has popped up quite quickly. Any surprises you're seeing?
You know, this is typical with Gulf Coast storms, rapidly intensifying, and it's something that we have to factor into. We have to ramp up, you know, our assistance and move very quickly, and unfortunately, we've seen this a lot in the Gulf.
You have seen a lot in the Gulf, and you know, one of the things we also see is that in some of these storms, there are just some people who can't get out, who choose not to get out for complicated reasons, elderly, people with limited mobility. What can you do for them?
Well, typically what happens is if you have any functional or access needs, the counties will typically hold registry lists that we would like people to register for on blue sky days when it's not necessarily hurricane season, so that we have an understanding of who needs assistance ahead of time. But in this situation right now, what we really depend on is neighbor helping neighbor. If, you know, please check on your neighbors, and if you're leaving and you know that someone is in their house alone and can't evacuate, we would ask for that assistance. Now, what are we doing? We pre-position search and rescue teams to be able to move in as quickly as we can once the elements of the storm have passed through.
Just coming on the heels of Florence, quite a different storm. It dumped so much rain across the Carolinas. How is Michael different, and how does that change your response?
The intensity, sheer fact of the intensity and the timing. I mean, Florence gave us a huge runway, over a week's notice. This one popped up on the radar screen basically Saturday morning, and it was very hard for us to understand what the intensity was going to be several days later. What you're going to see is a storm moving very rapidly through Georgia, and it will maintain hurricane strength through southwest Georgia and central Georgia as it passes through later today and early tomorrow.
It's going to be quite a cleanup.
You know, your major hurricanes are the ones that cause the greatest amount of loss of life as well as devastation. Largely, the storm surge area is the one unforgiving hazard, and what we mean by that is that anybody that doesn't evacuate, that experiences storm surge, doesn't typically live to tell about that story. But as this thing pushes through, you're going to see a lot of inland wind damage. You're going to see a lot of power outages for multiple weeks.
Brock Long, thanks for your time this morning.
Thanks, George.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.